Russell with his first touchdown reception of the night. Lee for the point after, and it is good. And our score is 36-20. Biggest lead of the night enjoyed by the Memphis Pharaohs. They led at 1 point by 13. They now have pushed their lead as Kopp improvised, not by choice, Doc, but the result indeed was the same. Well, the last couple of weeks in which the Stampede have played, Earl Bruce has said defense has been the concern. Against Vegas on the 16th, they gave up 57 points. Last week, they gave up 52. 36 on the board. We're not even in the fourth quarter tonight.
No, not a good sign. But he has played better. They've had patches of good play. But when you got a quarterback like this man right here, number 12, Cop Gun, then I don't know if you can blame anybody on the defense. He's just in, what would you say, the zone. Look at the numbers now. 12 of 23, buck 96, 3 touchdowns, only 1 INT. It's good work.
And you like coming at a guy like Earl Bruce, and it's nothing personal against Bruce, but indeed, last year in Cleveland when Troy Kopp attended training camp, the decision was made by Earl Bruce that he didn't want him as his quarterback. Yeah. So now he's got a chance to come out here and say, all right, coach, this is what you gave up. Got a good quarterback himself, does Earl Bruce, and John Kaleo, but you know how that works. If you've ever been cut by a team or traded by a team, Doc, you want to go right at him with a vengeance.
Yeah, you always want to prove people wrong. I mean, that happens in life, and as a civilian or as an athlete, you want to prove people wrong. But I think at this point, because these teams are coming off losses, they just want to get a win. They just want to start playing good football.
And not just losses, but 2 big losses for both teams. Last week, Tampa. And it was Tampa Bay 68-32 against the Memphis Pharaohs. So really depressing losses that really make you do some soul searching the couple of early days of the next week.
Tampa Bay,
yeah,
it's an excellent football team.
You like them, huh?
They're excellent. And Markham, a gentleman who's won it. I don't think Perry Moss probably only coached 1 more games than Coach Markham. So that's a good football team.
Now working on 2 on 2nd and 2. As we have reached under a minute here in the 3rd quarter. 36-20 the score. A quick hit to Darrell Hammond, and he is dragged down, but does get enough for the first down near the 20-yard line.
Well, you notice how the music tends to pick up here as the 9th man, if you will, trying to give a little support to the Memphis Pharaohs. Clock continues to go. It only stops 1 minute prior to the first half and the final minute of the football game.
It ticks under 10, so this in all likelihood will be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Barber goes into motion. Kaleo gets the snap before the horn, goes to a wide open man over the middle. Adelita inside the 10-yard line. John Adelita, the number 2 tight end in his first year out of NC State, sees the football for the first time in quite some time. But the play effective for Earl Bruce's team. And when we come back for the 4th, they need to get a touchdown.
Love a quarterback that will throw to tight ends.
We welcome you back to the Pyramid of Memphis. Mike Goldberg, Doc Walker. Pharaohs lead the Stampede 36-20. And some good efforts put in tonight by Darren Hughes, Brett Cooper, and also Jeff Russell, the receiving core of the Memphis Pharaohs. And at the beginning of the night, Don Freese said that Darren Hughes and Brett Cooper will play until they drop because of the injury to Frizzell Davis. Not a lot of depth on this team. Kaleo right now working his football team and handing the football to Rick Wood. He gets his way halfway towards the goal line.
The St. Louis started off well, drove the ball right down to about the 2-yard line, had a fumble. And from that point, they've been kind of trying to swim upstream.
Take 1 step off and come back.
About that arena special.
Yeah, sure did. I heard that word special too, partner.
Oh, yeah.
Arena special on 2nd down from about the 7-yard line. Kaleo has to improvise under heavy pressure. Goes towards the end zone. Touchdown, Terrence Barber.
Boy, Terrence, that was all individual because Jerry Pitts covered him, put the blanket on him. And Terrence was able to uncover it because the offensive line Gave him time. This play is supposed to develop a lot quicker. What it amounts to, folks, is an inside read. That receiver can take it in or he can stop. Well, that time, Jerry Pitts was all over Terrence Barber. Barber reverses his field of play. Khalil, with the great vision and the strong arm, makes it a score.
And now he's set to hold for Tom Wheelahan to try to cut the lead to 9. At 36-27. Time, the kick is up. And Wheelahan is good again on the point after. So John Kaleo improvises on the arena special and finds a very special receiver out of Florida, Terrence Barber, for the score. St. Louis with the touchdown. By Rydell, the official helmet and protective equipment supplier of the Arena Football League. And by Adidas, the brand with 3 stripes. From the street where Blues is dominant to the building where the Pharaohs have basically been dominant in stages, led by 1 point, by 13 points, and another by 16, but all of a sudden they see that lead cut to 9 as the Stampede find the end zone. John Kaleo going to Terrence Barber. Back deep is Russell. Russell plays it off the net with no problem at all. Now he gets a block and works towards the outside, looking for more blocks. In traffic down the middle of the field. Thought about going outside for a second. Then his blockers forced the guys in white to the outside, looked towards the middle, and got just a couple more yards up to about the 13.
It's a good return. Good return in this league. You got to figure the field is only 50 yards. Score and drive, 5 plays, 45 yards. And Barber with a great play with that offensive line. They deserve a pat on the back. Garber, Harris, Papsadero did a super job allowing Kaleo some time.
Quarterback comparison, Kaleo, 167 yards, 2 touchdowns, 200 plus, 5 touchdowns thrown by Troy Kopp.
Kopp is scalding hot.
And a big gain again, as who else but number 6, Jeff Russell, who led Pacific his senior year with 79 tackles, 50 solo, 5 interceptions. And he has really shown us that he also has offensive skills. The all-state quarterback in high school was more of a defensive player at Pacific, but man, oh man, he's really done a good job tonight.
He hit you too when you think the home run hitter, Hughes, who has just been on a tear.
Down!
Brett Cooper, 6 foot, 190 pounder. Number 11, he's also been a tear, and that's where quarterback Troy Kopp was looking, but Cooper was covered nicely on that play. Number 8, Marcus Badgett.
He's just doing all the right things. He really is. Troy Kopp, even when he's sacked, he's not. And he's aware of it. You know, the guy just seems to have a great feel for the game, and he started off kind of slow. You know, he got in, and they just kept saying, just give him some time, give him some time. And sure enough, he has worked himself to be one of the better quarterbacks in the league.
80 wing read. I'm one. Ready?
Love the reads, folks. Whenever you hear read, that's an option. If you catch St. Louis in man-to-man defense, it's just tough to cover some guy when he's got an option route.
Hughes, the man in motion. Kopp looks for Hughes. In and out of the hands of Marcus Badgett for the touchdown by Memphis. Now, there was the exchange earlier, and this time the deflection off of Badgett's hands goes right in to Brett Cooper.
I can see it once, but twice is stretching it. Now, this is stretching it. Yeah, just when I'm about to say, you know, they got 2 guys in one area, maybe someone's done something wrong, they're able to whip it out. Strong arm. There's a tip. Badgett, who's in excellent position. Riley Ware is in excellent position. Had a luck of a bullfrog at this point.
Brett Cooper again finds the end zone. His 4th touchdown of the night, the 24-year-old out of Central Florida. 4 touchdowns tonight. Betters his season total. Missing the extra point, Brian Lee. He missed his first attempt of the night. So the score will hold at 42-27, but this night has belonged to Brett Cooper. 4 touchdown receptions. He had just 3 all season as he entered play here in week 9. Now, the luck of the bounce of the football again helps the Memphis fans to continue to be pleased with the efforts. 42-27 the score. Taking a look around the league here on this Saturday night. Vegas and Miami. Miami looking for their first win. 24-20 the score there down to the Miami Arena. Albany getting a pretty good handing to them by Orlando. Orlando 42-24, and Tampa Bay and Connecticut 17-13, Doc.
That's a good football game. It really is. When you think what has happened with Connecticut, they had the battle of the winless teams last week with Miami, Connecticut. Connecticut pulls through in that one. The Tampa Bay, wow.
And the PPG IndyCar World Series continues with the Texaco Haviland 200. Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Defending champion Jacques Villeneuve. This was his first victory of his Indy career. He's tied in the point standings for the lead right now with Robbie Gordon at 81 points. Race number 10 of 17 in the PPG IndyCar World Series. 2 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN. DeLeo works from the 5-yard line. Behind center, into the end zone, pushes it to the far side of the football field. The completion made by Darrell Hammond.
Chain gang took a beating on that one. One thing you don't want to do is panic when you're behind in offensive football. You want to take the out. If the out's there, you take it, and you kind of try to work your way downfield.
Look at that guy in the chain gang smiling. That's why I go to the gym 3 times a week.
Take a look at total yardage. Stampede in the first half, 113 to 147 by Memphis, and it pretty much has continued along that way. Kopp has been red hot at the quarterback spot.
Well, this has been a very different team since Troy Kopp took over. Kaleo, though, in charge right now for St. Louis. And a short completion. Football squirts free, but already out of bounds, it appeared, was the receiver of the football for St. Louis.
Championship teams have the ability to siege momentum, put it at a halt, and then go at to really just ruin your day. This is what the Memphis defense has a chance to do right now. You're at home. You should kick it up a little bit. Kaleo, let's be honest about it. This offense has been sputtering, has had its problems, and right now I think they can take them out.
Clock ticks with under 10 minutes remaining and regulation time. 9 minutes and 23 seconds as we speak. 3rd and 11 play, a very important 3rd and 11 for John Kaleo. Exchange of center was bad, and now it'll be 4th down from deep inside their own territory for St. Louis. And that's, you're in a 3rd and 11 situation, Doc. You don't even get to run. You can't get the snap.
Where's Marcus Badgett? We talked about the Maryland connection early on. So far, they've taken him out of his game. You got to give Memphis a lot of credit. They've done a lot of this with John Bankhead on the sidelines. He's not played a lot today, so it's a tribute to that whole unit.
Marcus Badgett, how about Darrell Hammond, number 3 receiver in the league as we entered our play this evening. He has been virtually silent also. Gone. Wheelahan drives the football. It'll be played at the 2-yard line by Jeff Russell. Russell breaks the tackle of Badgett and now works outside of the 22-yard line when finally he's forced out of bounds into the dasher boards by a sea of white jerseys.
I mean, you're playing for first place, Mike. You got to have a better effort. I mean, you either want to be on top or you don't. And I'll tell you, with Iowa in this conference, both teams better get some distance, because I really like that ball club.
Iowa is off. Pharaohs of Memphis in control. Memphis Pharaohs leading 42-27. Number 12 without his helmet on right now. Troy Kopp truly has been the story thus far in our contest. And the story for San Francisco and Atlanta, the 2 lefties, Barry Bonds and Fred McGriff. The Braves breathing down the neck of the National League East, leading Phillies 3.5 games back. These 2 teams will battle over the weekend, June 30th through July 2nd. But Sunday Night Baseball will end the first half of the season. And then Wednesday Night Baseball, Gary Gaetti, Paul O'Neill, the Kansas City Royals, and the New York Yankees from the Bronx, live right here on ESPN. That will be the first game back after the All-Star break. Remember our coverage, All-Star Monday, as a big week of baseball festivities with the All-Star break, Sunday and Wednesday Night Baseball on ESPN. Kopp goes up top, looks for the end zone, touchdown. Boy. Darren Hughes.
They are stalling, absolutely stalling. And getting it done from all areas. Here's a guy who has 7 touchdown catches in his last 4 games. And he's probably felt neglected. Went in the huddle and said, hey, Troy, what about me? Well, he brought it to him. It was a pump fake and lack of pressure. Troy Kopp just playing with a lot of confidence, and he got a hose. Well, that's good work. And as a receiver, you know you got to meet the dasher board.
Darren Hughes gets the pass from Troy Kopp, and that man number 2, his 10th touchdown reception of the year. He has scored over 60 points. He's the leading scorer for this team. Point after attempt blocked by number 80, Big John Adlita.
That's a good effort. You think last week Mike Perez threw for 375 yards and 8 touchdowns. He was the Wilson MVP. I got to believe that Troy Kopp is working his way towards that honor.
7 touchdowns, just 1 interception. Kopp came in the number 9 passer with a 53% completion rate, 22 TDs, 8 interceptions. But we mentioned 4 of those 8 interceptions came in his first start of the year against not this team, but in week 3, I believe it was, when finally they made the move to let him run the football team.
4 sacks, first 4 games. He had 4 last week. And as we get a chance to look at the Camels, that offensive line turned things around. Scott Martin, Brian Stromberg, they made some moves with him, Greg Ross. And when you look at this from a coach's standpoint, you can see Don Freese, he's looking at this thinking, if we want to be on top in this conference, we'll go out and play well. They're at home, and you talked about quick strikes a little early on. That's arena football.
1 play, 28 yards. And the touchdown reception is first of the night by Darren Hughes. 4 times they have gone to Brett Cooper.
Well, Cooper scored 4. Last week, Freddie Gales, Herb Duncan, Eddie Brown, George LaFrance, and Tampa all had 4 touchdowns. So he's put himself in an elite circle.
Eddie Brown setting the mark for most points in a year. And that may very well go down with the great play of Barry Wagner, who you will see in his Orlando Predators Friday night on ESPN2. Off the back netting. Football played by Riley Ware. Ware has time, works past the 20-yard line up towards midfield. And the 25, Cooper there to make the defensive play.
Now you got to start to watch the gut quality and find out who will quit on you. You know, if I'm part of the St. Louis organization and Jim Oates, the general manager, a great football player with the Cards, and I'll tell you what he's looking for right now. Find out who quits on you. Riley Ware's not quitting. There's some guys out there still trying to get blocks, and that's the components, things that you need if you're going to be a good football team.
Now, good field position, and St. Louis must garner a score here. Kaleo dumps off incomplete. The intended receiver was Chad Weisling, the fullback, working his way out of the backfield. But again, so much pressure so quick applied on the St. Louis quarterback.
If Chad makes the catch, it's for a loss. That's just great defense. That's one deal where you got Dale White, just beat him to the punch.
166 yards is all that has been produced by John Kaleo. And look at the performance of Troy Kopp. 16 of 28, 276 yards, 7 touchdown tosses.
I think we're looking at some league-wide honors for that young man.
Now Kaleo with Lindsey Collins in motion. He makes the reception at the 20, driven back to about the 22.
So what you see, 1 white shirt, 3 black shirts. This is a club that's trailing. We're in the 4th quarter. At some point, you got to go for the end zone.
Especially as the clock continues to run and it ticks towards the 6-minute mark. And now exactly 6 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter here in Memphis. Second half dominated by the Pharaohs, and credit the defense too. Credit both of them, the offense and defensive units, mostly the same guys. Extremely productive, very efficient tonight for Memphis. Now Collins driven head first into the dasher boards, but not until he gets very close to a first down.
One thing
third and fourth play.
Pardon me. One thing that surprised me is the lack of out and ups, gadget plays to try to get the second level for Khalil. They've been pretty vanilla so far.
Now they're going to mark it, yes, indeed, the first down, so it'll be 1st and 10 from just inside the spot of the ball at the 15-yard line. Collins, the man again in motion. Kaleo looks for Collins in traffic, incomplete, defended on the play by Jerry Pitts.
Advantage Pitts. He tried to give him a great move. Collins tried to shake and bake, but Pitts is one of the better man-to-man cover guys in this league. He's displayed that. And we watched Lyles trying to get in.
37, quick screen left.
Kind of close, but when you're at home, you know, I think it was good defense.
Got a little piece of the helmet, it looks, of Lindsey Collins afterwards, too.
You get a little headshot. He's a defensive guy. What do you expect?
That's right. And the defensive specialist, the cornerback, Pitts. Quick hit over to Barber on the near side. Barber tries to work his way back in the middle, but again, the black jerseys gather and a gain of just a couple of yards.
Just swarming now. That's a little more innovative, you know, trying to run a little screen, a little rocket. But nothing better for defensive players, Mike, than to get points on the board. And they can just pin the ears back and come at you. We're seeing right now a confident defense going against an offense struggling.
21-point Pharaohs lead. Under 4 minutes remain. And if indeed St. Louis does get the touchdown here, scoot a little bit closer, you got to give a bit of advantage to Memphis, who have really made them work the clock and earn this. No quick hits here for Kaleo and company. Now he goes up top, timing pattern, touchdown, Ed Hill. But as I mentioned, you're right, it took a while.
Yeah, they made him earn it. I'm really impressed with the second level Memphis Pharaohs and how they've been able to work hard. Robert Lyles getting a bird's eye view. Stromberg there on the center. Good pass, bro. This is just man-to-man. Once again, Ed beats him off the line of scrimmage. When you're 6'3", 200-pounder, brings it in.
So the point after attempt by Wheelahan to make the score 48-34. And before that, the timeout called by John Kaleo.
X! X! Hey, you're the X.
We could have done that. We could have kicked it without him. But it doesn't matter with that, right?
He's a little concerned. He's talking about his ex-guy, Terrence Barber, trying to get him in. If he's going for the PAT, I'm wondering what would...
Drop it.
Huh?
A little mix-up on that. Kaleo probably thought going for 2, he needed his ex-receiver in, and I think they were probably going to try to drop kick it.
Earl Bruce said that would have been kind of funny. We should have done that with our kicker. See what happens.
Bad news is when you're trailing 3:06 remaining, you can't afford to waste a TO.
Right. I mean, 14 points, if they do get the PAT going for the 1, we'll assume, is not an insurmountable lead. There's no question about it. Stampede gets a quick hit. They can hit twice. They can do it twice and win this football game in regulation.
Yeah, you get an outside, you got those nets.
So it looked like it'll be a normal PAT. No, now they'll work in a formation. Drop kick by Wheelahan. Wheelahan with a drop kick. And it is no good.
Drop kicks, only 33% of the entire league has been good on drop kicks. We did